You step over it every day, sometimes with tired feet, sometimes distracted, arms full of groceries or thoughts heavy from the world outside. You barely notice it, just like many of us don't. That soft mat by your front door, its edges curled, a little dusty, like it's been waiting too long for someone to truly see it. It's just a doormat, isn't it? But what if the very thing you overlook is quietly deciding what enters your life and what stays out? What if that mat has been absorbing not just dirt, but the weight of your days, the stress, the sorrow, the hope you've long forgotten how to name? In the homes of our mothers and grandmothers, salt or basil was placed at the doorstep. Not to clean, but to protect. To remind the space, this is a sacred crossing. Today, most doormats come with cursive welcomes and fancy prints. But the spirit they once carried, we've let it fade. And yet, energy remembers, it gathers. It waits. Your entrance is not just where you leave your shoes. It's where the world's energy meets the heart of your home. And so before we begin, I gently ask, when was the last time you paused before stepping inside? And ask yourself, what kind of energy is following me home? Number 1, the doormat, a silent guardian we forgot. It's just a mat, until it is. Until life begins to feel stuck, a little heavy, strangely tired, and you find yourself wondering why the light doesn't quite settle in your home the way it used to. You light incense, you open windows, you tidy up and rearrange, hoping the energy will shift, but something still feels closed, quietly off. And there it is lying by the door, not demanding attention, not making a sound, just there. Curled slightly at the corners, a little dusty, faint with years of footsteps. The soft rectangle where your body lands before your spirit even crosses the threshold. Your doormat, the silent guardian you forgot to greet. In Vietnamese tradition, the doorway has never been just an entrance. It is the mouth of energy, Noi, Kai, CH letter 1EA1M vow, Nha, L letter 1EA7N D stroke, letter 1EA7 U tiern. What first receives your tired feet after a long day? Not the couch, not your family's smile. The mat, the soles of your shoes, which have touched hospital corridors, market crowds, rainy sidewalks, maybe even graveyards, press against this small patch of woven fiber. Day after day, without a word it absorbs, without judgment it holds. But like any body that is never washed, it begins to grow heavy, not with dirt, but with emotion, residue, the weight of the unsaid. When a home begins to feel restless, when peace seems to hover just outside your reach, this is often where it starts. The entrance, and the one who guards it has been left unseen. In the countryside, Ba-Ngo letter 1EA1I would sprinkle salt at the doorstep every Mung M letter 1ED9T. Not to scare spirits, not even for luck, but to make the air still. Cho en ha yern, she used to say. She would lift the mat with 2 hands, shake it firmly, and blow across its back 3 times. Then she would place it back down with a kind of reverence, as though placing a child back into sleep. There was no rush, no drama, just presence, just intention. She didn't need to understand Feng Shui. She simply knew that the mat touches the world before you do, and what it touches stays. Over time, as we forget these small acts, our homes begin to feel less like sanctuaries and more like storage. The light dulls, the flow slows, sleep doesn't feel as deep, the mornings don't greet you as warmly. And the abundance, the fresh ideas, the peaceful moments, the quiet luck, somehow never quite arrive. Or if they do, they don't stay long. That's because they hesitate at the threshold. And when energy arrives to visit your home, it listens for signs. It listens to how you care for the in-between spaces. The humble, the overlooked, the places that greet you before anyone else. But here is the gentle truth: this can shift. And it begins with remembering. Tomorrow morning, before the world wakes, open your front door. Step outside barefoot. Look down not just with your eyes, but with your heart. See the mat as you once saw your mother's hands, worn, quiet, but holding everything together. Touch it, thank it. Shake it out as if you're releasing stories that no longer belong. Clean it gently with warm water infused with crushed basil or dried tangerine peel. Place your palm on its center and whisper, "May all that enters here be kind. May all that leaves do so in peace." You don't need a new house. You don't need to renovate. You just need to begin where the world begins, at the door. If your mat is made of plastic, torn or brittle from sun and rain, consider choosing one made of natural fiber. Something that breathes. Bamboo, jute, woven coir, materials that remember how to carry energy without suffocating it. Avoid bright synthetic prints or heavy words. Choose instead a texture that calms, a color that speaks of earth or water or warmth. Think of it not as decor, but as the skin of your threshold, the first altar, the first offering, and if you wish, create a small daily ritual. Each sunrise, before anyone else stirs, place your feet gently on the mat. Let your breath slow, let your chest soften, let your energy greet the home before your words do. Whisper, if only in your mind, "This is a peaceful return." Because every day you cross this line, and every day it watches over you without complaint, without need. It only asks to be noticed, to be held with the same care it holds you. There is no need for grand rituals. The sacred is often woven into the smallest acts. Like washing rice, like folding a shirt with intention, like standing on a mat and remembering who you are. So the next time you come home, pause, and as your foot touches the fabric, ask softly, "Am I stepping into my home or into my own forgetting?" Let the mat remind you. Number 2, 9 coins, a path of completion beneath the feet. Sometimes abundance doesn't knock loudly. Sometimes it waits, right there under your feet, not in the bank account, not in the career change, but beneath the threshold where you step in and out of your life every single day. And in the oldest traditions of energy alignment, 9 small coins, old, imperfect, round with a square center, have long been whispered to hold the secret. Not because they are magical, but because they represent a kind of ending that begins again. A loop closed, a path completed. 9 is the final single-digit number, the peak. In Eastern thought, it is the summit before transformation. In Vietnamese imperial rituals, there were 9 steps to the throne, 9 incense bowls on ancestral altars, 9 gates in the royal city. Not for show, for energy. 9 carries the vibration of enough. Of something whole, not striving, not chasing, just ready. And that is the exact energy you want at your doorway. Most people don't think about what lies under their doormat. A nest of old leaves, maybe a stray receipt, sometimes dust. But what if placed gently, wrapped with breath and care, a set of 9 coins could become a silent engine beneath your feet? Not loud, not showy, just steady. Each coin carries the balance of heaven and earth. A circle on the outside, the sky, the infinite. A square hole in the center, the earth, grounded and clear. When held in your palm, they remind you, you too are both. You reach upward, but you live from the ground. When you tie 9 of these coins together with red thread or place them in a red envelope, you activate the energy of fire, movement, warmth, magnetism. Then when placed directly under your doormat at the symbolic mouth of the home, they begin to stir a rhythm, a soft vibration, not to bring money like lightning, but to awaken what already wants to arrive. Think of it like seeds. Every time you step on the mat, the coins beneath don't move, but their energy does. Your step presses energy into the earth. And like planting rice in mud, it's the repetition, the trust, that makes things grow. You don't need to tell anyone they're there. In fact, it's better if you don't. Let the coins live in quiet. Let them hold the gate while you go about your day, because energy doesn't need display. It needs sincerity, stillness, placement. In the beginning, you might not notice a change. That's the beauty of it. The coins don't bring fireworks, they bring flow. A forgotten bill is suddenly paid. An old friend offers unexpected help. A job opportunity appears almost as if called in from nowhere. But it's not nowhere. It came through the threshold. This practice isn't superstition, it's structure. Coins conduct energy, red awakens it, placement guides it. And you, with your daily footsteps, become the activator. When choosing your coins, look for those that carry age. Patina is not decay, it's memory. Find coins that have lived. If they're Vietnamese, Chinese, or simply old metal discs with character, that's enough. What matters more is how you prepare them. Clean them with warm, salt water. Let them dry in the morning sun. Then tie them together in a loop with red thread, 3 rows of 3 or 9 in a circle. While tying, breathe deeply. Don't rush. And before placing them, write a small note, even just a few words, and place it under the coins. Let this home receive what is enough. Or, I welcome steady peace and warmth. Then gently lift your mat and place the coins exactly in the center, the heart of the threshold. Not too close to the edge, not off to one side. Let them live right beneath where your foot will naturally land. As you press down, you press in that intention, and the coins begin to hum. They will hum without sound, without light. But over weeks, months, they will draw a kind of attention from the universe. Not a plea, but an invitation. Because in this world, aligned energy creates doors, and you've just placed one under your own step. Every new moon, lift the mat. Check the coins. If the thread is fraying, replace it. If dust has gathered, brush it gently with your hand. And most importantly, read the note again. Or write a new one. Let your wish evolve with you. Let it grow wiser, softer, less about more about enough. Some women choose to add a pinch of cinnamon or dried clove with the coins to stir the fire element a little stronger. Others place a pressed jasmine flower for peace, or a tiny pinch of rice for long-lasting nourishment. There's no rigid rule, only sincerity. Because this is not about superstition, it's about relationship. You, your home, and the space where both meet. One woman wrote, "Ever since I placed the coins, my house feels like it exhales when I come home." That is the shift we speak of, not a lottery ticket, but the return of a pulse. A heartbeat at the edge of your sanctuary. And even if nothing outside seems to change, you may begin to feel something inside soften. A new kind of quiet when you enter. A less urgent kind of lack. A slower kind of hope. The doorway no longer just separates the world and the self. It becomes a companion, a conductor, a keeper of rhythms. And every step you take across it whispers a message to the unseen. I am ready, I am home. Let what is mine find me gently. That is the power of 9 coins beneath your feet, not to chase wealth, but to make a home soft enough for it to stay. Number 3, 3 coins, the trinity of heaven, earth, and self. Sometimes we don't need more, we just need balance, not the overwhelming push of fortune. Not a sudden wave of luck that comes and vanishes like summer rain, but something quieter, more sustainable, like a breath that rises and falls evenly, like 3 steady notes in a lullaby. That is the energy of 3 coins tied with red thread, simple, small, but deeply aligned. While the number 9 speaks to completion, endurance, and long cycles, the number 3 speaks to movement, rhythm, a kind of spiritual triangulation where heaven, earth, and self meet. In ancient Vietnamese thought, this trinity appears everywhere. We call it Thien, D-stroke letter 1 ECB, a N-Han, the sky above, the ground below, and the human in between. 3 bowls of rice on the ancestral altar. 3 steps when offering incense. 3 knocks before entering a sacred space. 3 creates flow. It breaks the stuckness of 2. It opens what one alone cannot hold. When you tie 3 coins together with red thread and place them beneath your doormat, you're not invoking power. You're invoking harmony. You're asking the energies around you to move again, not wildly, not chaotically, but with grace. Because when your life feels stuck, not in crisis, just in quiet heaviness, it is often a lack of rhythm. The kind of rhythm that allows both giving and receiving to happen without resistance. The coins themselves can be the same as before, round, worn with a square hole in the middle. What changes is the intention. Instead of calling in a completed path, you call in a gentle turn of direction, a realignment, a waking pulse. 3 coins are compact, modest. They don't need much space. They can sit under the corner of the mat or even inside a red cloth bag tied softly, almost like a sachet of hope. But their energy isn't small. It expands in quiet ways, because this number holds something sacred, the union of breath, body, and spirit, of thought, word, and action, of the Than, KH letter 1EA9U, Y acute we so often forget. Have you ever noticed how misalignment begins when one of the 3 drifts away? When your thoughts say, "I'm fine," but your voice quivers. When your body goes to work, but your spirit lags behind. When your mouth smiles, but the heart doesn't follow. The energy of 3 coins helps bring these parts back together, not with force, but with invitation. A soft gathering, a silent remembering. Preparing them is simple. Take 3 coins, old if you can find them, but more importantly, coins that feel grounded in your hands. Wash them gently in warm salt water, as if cleansing away the noise of the world. Let them dry in sunlight, not just for dryness, but to awaken them with warmth. Then take a red thread, smooth, unbroken, and tie the 3 coins together in a line or triangle. As you tie, breathe slowly. Say nothing if you wish. Or whisper something you want to remember. Let the flow return. Or, I walk in harmony. Place the bundle gently beneath your mat, ideally at the spot where your heel first lands as you step inside. Let it sit in silence. Let it do its work not through drama, but through presence. Over the next days or weeks, observe, not the coins, yourself, the way you speak, the way you respond, the way you rest without explaining. You might find that certain frictions soften, that a miscommunication clears, that your inner world, which used to feel tangled, begins to settle into a quieter hum. The energy of 3 coins is not meant to summon windfalls. It's meant to invite coherence, to let life resync. And when you start living from this inner alignment, something extraordinary happens. You begin to attract relationships, opportunities, and ideas that match your natural rhythm, not your struggle. One woman said, "I tied my 3 coins and forgot about them. But 2 weeks later, I found myself laughing out loud for no reason, like something inside me remembered its own beat." That is the rhythm of 3. And when used beneath the doormat, where energy first enters your space, it acts like a quiet gatekeeper, not stopping anything, but gently redirecting, filtering, reminding every energy that passes through, this home knows how to breathe. In and out, give and receive. If you wish, you may refresh the red thread every few months, or write a small note to accompany it. My home moves with me, not against me. Or simply, let life be kind again. The most important thing is not perfection, it is presence. And if one day you lift the mat and see the thread has loosened, don't see it as failure, see it as timing. Perhaps the flow has changed. Perhaps it's time for a new intention. Tie again, whisper again, step again, because your home is not static, neither is your soul. And sometimes what you need most is not more energy, but softer energy, more honest pacing. A path that doesn't rush you into results, but walks beside you in rhythm. 3 coins, that's all, but placed with heart, they become a bridge between what you think you need and what you truly are ready for. Let each step across your doorway be a reminder. I am sky, I am earth, I am self, and I am once again in tune. Number 4, prosperity stones, energy made visible. There are some things you can't see, but you feel them. The way a room changes after someone cries in it. The way silence feels different when it's peaceful or when it's holding back. Energy is like that, invisible but never absent, and sometimes it chooses to take shape quietly through stone. Not grand gemstones on rings, not heavy blocks on altars, but small, raw, ancient pieces of earth that once lived in deep silence and carry the memory of that stillness into your home. Citrine, pyrite, green aventurine, 3 humble stones, each with a story, a rhythm, a voice. Placed beneath your doormat, they don't just sit. They hum, they echo, they wait, they activate. In the world of intuitive energy, these are known as prosperity stones, not because they bring money like magic, but because they hold the frequency of enoughness, of growth that does not rush, of light that knows how to wait for dawn. Start with citrine. Golden, warm, sometimes clear, sometimes cloudy like sunlight passing through honey. In energetic traditions, citrine is called the merchant's stone, not because it brings customers, but because it awakens something deeper: clarity, action, and trust in your own power. It touches the solar plexus, that quiet flame just below your ribs, the place where I can lives. When you place a piece of citrine beneath your doormat, you are not calling wealth in. You are calling yourself home. The part of you that acts when it feels worthy. Then there is pyrite, rough, metallic, almost like a chunk of gold wearing a disguise. Pyrite has long been mistaken for real gold, but it doesn't mind. It knows what it is, a shield. Pyrite doesn't attract as much as it protects. It filters. It guards the doorway. It absorbs negativity before it enters, like an old auntie sitting by the porch, not saying much but seeing everything. Place it near the edge of your mat where the wind passes, where footsteps echo. Let it be your quiet sentinel. And then aventurine, soft green, calm, slightly glittering under sunlight like moss kissed by dew. Green aventurine is not loud. It doesn't rush. It doesn't stir. It soothes. This stone doesn't bring windfalls, it brings continuity, flow, the kind of prosperity that is slow, rooted, and reliable. It's perfect for those who no longer wish to chase, but instead wish to keep what they already have with peace. In Vietnamese gardens, green is sacred. It symbolizes M letter 1 EA 1 CH, S letter 1 ED 1 NG, the lifeline. Trees are not just trees. They are keepers of breath, of flow, of connection to sky and earth. Aventurine holds that same feeling in the palm of your hand. When you prepare these stones, treat them as you would a guest. Rinse them gently in clean water. Or, if you have, N letter 1B0, letter 1EDB Sila made from basil or pomelo peel. Let them dry in natural light, not under harsh lamps, but beneath early morning sun or late afternoon glow. Then sit with them, no rush, hold each one, feel its temperature, its weight, its silence. If it feels right, speak, not a command, not a chant, just a whisper. You might say, "May you awaken what I forgot I carried." Lord, may your stillness teach my home how to receive. When ready, wrap them in a soft cloth, silk if you have it, cotton if not. Red or gold are beautiful choices, but trust your hands. Place the stones beneath your mat, close but not crowded. You may position them in a triangle, or simply let them lie gently like quiet seeds. What matters is the sincerity of placement, not perfection of symmetry. Over time, the mat begins to feel different, not just cleaner, not just cared for, but alive. Because with each step, you do not just bring in groceries or stories from the world. You bring in your energy and it meets the stones. The fire of citrine, the shield of pyrite, the water root of aventurine. Some days you may feel lighter as you enter, other days more grounded, more whole. That is the whisper of these minerals, not in language but in frequency. In Vietnamese homes, people rarely placed stones on display, but they wore small ones wrapped in thread, or placed them on ancestral altars, or left them under pillows, never explained it, just did it. Because they knew the earth holds memory, and when we let it live near us, we borrow its rhythm. Once a month, during the full moon, lift your mat, pick up the stones, feel them. If one feels dull, soak it briefly in salt water or rest it on clean earth for a few hours. Whisper something new, or simply say, "Thank you." Place it back down with breath like a mother laying her child to sleep. No noise, no rush. Because this is not a ritual, it's a relationship. Between you, the earth, and the energy that carries both. And when you treat that relationship with care, not perfection, but presence, the energy that returns is not just wealth, it's peace. It's belonging, it's the feeling of enough quietly blooming beneath your feet. Let the stones hold that for you, so that when you step home tomorrow, you're not just crossing a door, you're stepping into a field of unseen light. Number 5, the red pouch, a miniature temple of intention. Not everything sacred needs to be large. In fact, the most powerful temples sometimes fit in the palm of your hand. A small red pouch, no bigger than a teacup. Made of soft fabric, silk if you have it, cotton if not. Closed with a drawstring, perhaps a ribbon once tied on a gift, now repurposed for something deeper. Inside, you place more than just objects. You place breath. You place meaning. You place the part of you that still believes in quiet miracles. This is not just a charm, not just a pretty item to hide beneath the doormat. This is a living space of energy, a miniature temple made of the 5 elements, gently held together by your own intention. Start with the first, metal, a coin or 3. Old is best, but what matters more is the feeling in your hand when you hold it. Metal anchors. It speaks of form, structure, memory. Then earth, a small crystal, citrine, aventurine, or even a polished river stone. Something that grew in silence and still holds that silence unshaken. Next, wood, a curl of cinnamon bark, a clove, a dried bay leaf. These aren't just spices, they're whispers of forests, of winds that once passed through trees now forgotten. They awaken and stir. Then fire, the pouch itself, red or gold or even deep purple. These colors don't just catch the eye, they hold warmth like the last light before sunset. Fire transforms, it gives shape to hope. And finally, water, your handwritten blessing. Yes, it must be handwritten, not typed, not copied. Just you, a pen, and a piece of paper no bigger than your palm. It doesn't need to be poetic, only real, sincere. From the quiet place inside that still remembers how to ask. Some write, "May this home be a place where enough is always enough." Others write, "I open myself to gentle blessings and I know how to keep them." You can write in English, in Vietnamese, or in whatever language your soul first learned to pray. Then fold the paper and place it at the very bottom. Let it be the bed the other items rest upon. Because your words are the river, they carry everything else forward. Once your pouch is filled, don't rush, hold it. Cup both hands around it, close your eyes, inhale deeply, not to summon, not to command, just to remember. To come home to yourself, whisper if it feels right, "Let this be enough, let this be strong, let this be kind." And then gently lift the doormat, slide the pouch beneath directly at the center. Let it lie flat like a quiet heartbeat beneath the threshold, not seen, but felt. Every time someone steps over it, the vibration stirs like wind through chimes you cannot hear. The pouch doesn't shout, it hums, it anchors. It reminds the space what it's here to hold. Each lunar month, take a moment, preferably on the first day, to check the pouch. Lift the mat in the early morning. Light a candle if you wish. Open the pouch slowly, like lifting a lid on a memory box. Look at the contents. Are they still whole, still fragrant, still alive? If the cinnamon is dull, replace it. If the paper feels faded, write a new one. Not because the old wish failed, but because you have changed. You are never the same woman from one moon to the next. Let this practice evolve with you. 1 month your wish may be about protection, another about trust, another simply about rest. Because wealth is not always about numbers. Sometimes it's about enough quiet to hear yourself think again. Sometimes it's about finding your keys without panic. Sometimes it's about food tasting better because your heart is not full of noise. That too is abundance. In Vietnamese homes long ago, women often carried small pouches, tui thom with herbs, threads, even tiny objects from their mothers' gardens. They weren't called prosperity tools, but they were. They were filled with meaning, and wherever they went, meaning followed. This pouch under your mat is no different. It follows your rhythm. It keeps watch. It absorbs, protects, and when the time is right, opens a new path you hadn't seen before. You don't need to tell anyone it's there. You don't need to explain, just care for it. Just remember it exists. Because the universe notices when you take care of small things. And when you do, small things begin to open big doors. The red pouch is not a shortcut. It's a remembering of what it feels like to live with soft attention, of how powerful it is to place 5 quiet elements beneath your feet and know they're working with you, not against you. So tomorrow, as you step across the mat, pause for a breath. Not long, just enough to notice the ground. And smile not for show, but as a sign between you and the pouch beneath. A sign that says, I remember, and I am walking with care. Number 6, a small bowl of salt, how stillness begins at the door. Not everything that protects needs to be powerful. Sometimes it only needs to be still. A bowl, a simple one. White porcelain, chipped at the rim perhaps, or round and smooth like those NGO letter 1EA1I used to place on the kitchen shelf, filled not with food but with meaning. And inside, nothing fancy, just salt, coarse. Grainy, white as morning fog, silent as snowfall, unassuming. But beneath that silence lives a strength most people never notice. In Vietnamese homes, salt has never just been seasoning. It's presence. It's a keeper of balance. A holder of what should stay. A cleanser of what should go. After funerals, we throw salt over our shoulders. On T-letter 1EBFT, we place it at doorways. When someone has seen too much, lived too much, salt is offered not to fix, but to absorb. It carries nothing and everything. It is crystal and element, earth and water dried into grain. It remembers oceans. It remembers storms. And yet when placed in a small bowl beside your door, it doesn't boast. It simply watches. And stillness begins. When energy enters your home, through the wind, through a guest's laughter, through your own sigh as you push open the door, it meets this bowl first. It pauses. It slows down. Because salt doesn't allow chaos to rush in. It doesn't fight it either. It just holds it like an old friend holding your hand in silence. Some women say they feel their house settle when the bowl is freshly placed. Not calmer in the way of spa music or lit candles, but more grounded, more true, less charged, more here. To create your own, begin with intention. Choose a small bowl that feels quiet. It doesn't need to match your decor. It doesn't even need to be new, but it must feel honest. Solid, like it belongs to earth. Then fill it with coarse salt, not powdery table salt, but rough grains. If possible, use sea salt from a local market. The kind sold by weight, wrapped in newspaper, carried home with care. And if you feel called, add 1 or 2 dried herbs, a clove, a curl of cinnamon, a bay leaf, something that once grew and carries memory, not for fragrance, for grounding. Place the bowl just beside your front door, not in the center. Not where feet will knock it over, but close enough that energy passes it, senses it. Some like to hide it behind a potted plant. Others let it sit in plain view, a soft declaration of protection. Do what feels gentle, not dramatic. This is not a symbol to impress. It is a companion. You don't need to speak to it. But if you want, you can whisper, "May all that does not belong here pause." Or simply, "Thank you for holding what I no longer can." The bowl doesn't expect praise, it just works. Over time, you may forget it's there. That's all right. It doesn't need attention. But once a month, preferably during the full moon, take a moment to notice it again. Pick up the bowl. Pour the salt out at the base of a tree or in moving water if you live near a stream. Never into the trash, never down a drain. Let it return to earth. Wash the bowl gently. Let it dry in sunlight or moonlight. Then refill, reset, re-whisper. You may be surprised by how this one act creates space in your mind, in your home. Not by removing things, but by removing what clings invisibly. Because we all carry things we shouldn't have brought home. The sharp word from a stranger. The silent grief we didn't know how to name. The guilt for resting. The anxiety that followed us like an extra shadow. These don't knock on the door. They slip in quietly beneath thoughts, beneath rituals, beneath logic. But salt knows. It holds without story. It listens without comment. It takes in, softens, and eventually dissolves. In some households, mothers would place bowls of salt beneath beds. Not for luck, but to keep dreams from becoming nightmares. To teach the space how to breathe again. This bowl by the door does the same. It teaches energy to pause before crossing. It teaches you to breathe before entering. It creates a rhythm, release, reset, receive. You don't need to believe in magic for this to work. You only need to believe that your home deserves a stillness that isn't interrupted every time the world demands something from you. Salt doesn't block, it filters. It doesn't destroy, it transforms, it doesn't push. It absorbs like a shoreline, receiving every wave but never drowning. And so, when you prepare this small bowl, remember, you are not placing an object. You are placing an invitation to peace, to protection, to boundaries made of softness, not steel. And the next time you walk through your front door, arms full of errands, heart full of everything you didn't say, pause just for a second. Glance at the bowl. And let it do what it has always known how to do. Hold you quietly, so your home doesn't have to hold it all alone. Final, the mat lies quiet. The coins hum beneath the soles of your feet. The stones breathe in their silence. The pouch waits, filled with your handwritten hope. And the bowl of salt glows faintly by the door, still as moonlight in a ceramic sky. Nothing in your home has changed on the surface. No walls moved, no furniture replaced, but something deeper, something older than time has shifted, and you feel it, in the way your body sighs when you enter, in the way the afternoon light seems to settle more softly against the wall, in the way your voice sounds less hurried when you ask, "Are you home?" As if you are finally asking yourself. This is not the kind of transformation that makes headlines. It's the kind that restores rhythm, like a stream finding its path again, like a door no longer afraid to open. Your threshold is no longer just a crossing. It has become a companion, a memory keeper, a quiet invitation, and every time you step across it, you're not just entering your house, you're returning to a promise, one you once whispered beneath your breath, and that your home has never forgotten. So now, as the light softens, as the day folds its final hour, ask yourself, not with words, but with breath, what have I just walked into, and what kind of world will I now allow to begin within me? Let that question stay with you, like salt in a bowl, like coins in silk, like a mat that no longer waits in silence, but listens every time you come home.